Alright, welcome to Series 3, Episode 20. This is Drift Talk, the third series recap, because this is the last episode for this series. Next week we'll start with Series 4, which is going to be another 20. I'm going to try to change things up on this one. But we're going to mostly do some recap and stuff. So today's the date is 11/13/2025. You can see all the news, the past episodes, everything on my website, which is TougeSW.com or TougeSW.com, TougeSW.com. I'm normally live every Thursday. Well, I'm normally live every night at 7-ish. But this podcast is recorded every Thursday night at 10 p.m.-ish. And yeah, do that. That's like the perfect time for any questions or anything like that. So, because I do have that session at the end. So next, welcome. I'm the Wandering Raven. I'm the host. I drift, I hack, I play video games. I'm a cancer survivor. I'm born and raised here in Las Vegas, but I did live in Central Oregon for 1 year. I miss it. I would love to go back. Now, when I say I drift cars. I drive a 1987 Nissan 200SX. It is also known as the S12 Sylvia. I also drive a 1986, which is I set it up to be more daily driven. But I hack, and that's mainly because I'm more cybersecurity focused kind of person. I do a side thing called Biggest Hackware. I also do my own book there. And I play video games, so if you see me come on live during the week, well, just like before, I was playing video games. This week I'm playing Pal World because there's new content that I've been working on. Yeah. So a little bit of background on what birthed Touge Southwest. It became part of Touge Northwest failure back in 2011 when they disbanded. It was such a big impact on me, which gave me a purpose in life and woken a spark inside me. And I don't really want to go too much into it because I've been going through my whole series on exactly what happened and why, all that. But I also put it in my book, so if you want to get a little more about me and the whole purpose of what happened, it's in my book at biggest.hackware.com. Alright, but Touge Northwest will have a big thing in my heart because it was there when I needed it the most. It birthed friends that I've never known that I could have, and it was a really good time. So what happened was, when I was forced to come back to Vegas in 2011, I started Touge Southwest because I wanted to bring that same energy here. Basically, it's a giant community, and it would have its own small little communities within, and it was like pretty cool. It's a great concept. I guess in a way, I know it's not BK Ladies League, but that's like part of it. I think there's something on the East Coast that I have to dig more into, but I think something with the Club Loose area, they have something similar like the Touge Northwest was. And yeah, so yeah, but Vegas is a different beast. It's because they already have their own little cliques everywhere. Because I wasn't here during the whole Fast and the Furious years, I'm gonna call it, I don't have that respect. I was starting to get it until my car blew up, so. So next. Alright, so I've been seeing a lot of posts on the SEMA post, and what sparked this up was there was a few after party meetings and that I'm seeing, and people are like the cops are just going there. They're totally breaking everything up. But a couple months ago, JCCS Sin City They were hosting the one over there at the Cafe 86. Matter of fact, Cafe 86 got hit again, but a couple months ago, Cafe 86. As soon as they start the whole meetup, a couple of hours later, cops came in and just totally just broke it all up. And I've seen that this was going to happen sooner or later, sooner or later. Mainly because this law that passed 2 years ago. And so, of course, everything that happened again, FT86, dude, that guy from Fast and the Tokyo Drift, Han from Tokyo Drift was going to be there after this after party, but he couldn't. Before he even got there, everyone was ready to get autograph pictures taken and all that stuff, to go hang out with him. Metro just came in and just disbanded that quick. And and the whole reason for that is because of this law. And I'm going to bring over the law. So what is AB 408? It's a bill that Joe Lombardo, basically an ex-cop, is now governor, so sign into law, this freaking thing. So according to the new law enforcement can have a tow found if found on a highway, blah blah blah. Also, an officer can tow a vehicle issuing a citation to a driver for reckless driving. So if the car gets tagged for reckless driving, it gets towed. Only if they're arrested for reckless driving. I didn't see that part, sorry. But here's where it comes down. Number 2, trick driving. While there is already a law in Nevada that prevents trick driving on public highways, AB 408 makes it illegal to perform trick driving displays on any public premises. It is also unlawful to facilitate, plan, schedule, promote unauthorized trick driving anywhere in the public access. So the whole SEMA thing, where Han was going to be at the Cafe 86 here in Vegas. Basically, Metro is basically using this part here as it being a planned, scheduled promotion of trick driving. This is the law that's causing it. And of course they're going to abuse it. As a matter of fact, it probably, by the end of the year, they'll probably use that as how they think they burst up some of these trick drivings as part of their reports. So, what is trick driving? Reckless, of course, everyone's seen it on TikTok. People just take over the freaking intersection and just start doing donuts and hit people. So stupid. Also aims more affordable for owners to get their vehicles back in possession or towed. That's actually a good thing if they do get towed, but prohibits soliciting toward a victim to hire or retain a civil action toward victims. But this is what I'm talking about. By the end of the year, Metro will have an actually report of all these trick driving, and I'm 100% sure that, or 99% sure, Metro will actually use Cafe 86 twice as a trick driving dismantling. And they're going to use that as a display of saying, we've done this so many times, blah, blah, blah. And it'll be like, nope. So basically, they're just trying to be proactive and they don't know the situation. They just think it's a planned situation and they're abusing the AB 408 on it. So that's the AB 408. That's what's causing. Basically, if you have any big car meets happening it's going to get shut down because of this abuse, because the law is dumb. They should have done the law better than that. So, but it's because of that trick driving, and people just really don't want it, and that's what happens. So that sucks. But now let's get to my second thing. It's called software. So, what I've done with my car. This is a quick car update. Basically, I've been trying to figure out why I can't read the ECU anymore. I had Linux running. You used to be able to download the whole console and everything. I used to find it the COM port within the device drivers. I'm gonna have to pull the ECU out and replace that printer cable because that's all it is. Stupid printer cable, USB printer cable. And it's so weird how they have that one. They should have at least done USB 3. That would have been better and stronger cable. And especially if there was a power surge. Their USB 3 is actually less prone to a power surge on the cable side. So I'm gonna have to pull the cable, and which sucks because it's on the driver's side and I tucked it. And now I'm gonna have to untuck it and run another cable. That's the only thing I can think of, because it does recognize the device, but if there's a problem with the cable, I've seen this before many times in my IT career, that when the cable goes bad, it does stupid wonky stuff like I'm seeing tonight, or not tonight, this last weekend. So just a simple cable I have to go pick out. And so to our next thing, FD returns to Vegas. I'd like to bring that up again because that's exciting. But then again, they're also increasing how many more things. So I'm thinking, I think their Formula Drift is just going to be really big. Gonna be awesome. So recap. Time to recap. This is our recap time. All right, so I'm gonna bring down the list and let's start our recap. Start with number 1. That's where I did the bucket list. So what my bucket list is, I'm gonna do Drift America. I want to do Keep Drifting Alive. I want to do my own version of it. And I don't want to just go to places. I want to go drift them. I want to take my S12 and go drift them. So, and I want to do it before I turn 50. So I got 4 years. I just turned 46. I know I don't look it, but I did. Number 2, the drift power steering. That's where I actually installed the power steering. Figured out a simple way of doing it, so it was pretty fun. Number 3, the burnout hobby. This is technically my burnout hobby. The drift car, the drifting. I need to get drifting more because it's like drifting is like a therapy for me. And when I'm actually out on the track burning tires, I'm feeling more alive, letting go everything else behind me and having like a purpose in life, if that makes sense. Because, the past 20 years in IT and cybersecurity being this whole thing, if you read my book, Biggest Hackware, you would understand why I'm so burned out within the whole communities of cybersecurity and tech. It's like I come home and I don't even want to troubleshoot any computers. I just want to sit down and either just turn a wrench or start up a car and do donuts. But then that's that. So if you want to learn more, go to number 3. Before I talked about more of my bucket list. Keep drifting fun. I always wanted to do what I want to do. And keeping the dream alive was more about my car, updating about it. I was thinking of ideas of different dashes on number 6 dash ideas because I want to try something new. But I ended up going back to just jamming it together for now and figuring it out later. The faint drift was one of my favorite drifts that I like doing when I was using my S12. But then again, it might actually be a lot different now because I'm doing more power. The motor's a lot lighter than the V6 was. And definitely the center weight is definitely different. And another one is saying that I gotta keep going, so I did a few more things in the car, and more goals and success. I did more of that. During this season, episode 10, I went to Route 66, the JDM meet. Classic vehicle, classic JDM. I drove 200 miles to Arizona, 200 miles back in my 1986 daily. And that was actually a success. It was actually a really fun success. So, and so that was fun. So getting more status done with my car on this one. So number 11 here. Number 12. More drift talk, more S12 stuff. So yeah, pretty much that's what that one was. Number 13, I decided to do because I was also working on the. Oh wait, sorry, I'll take that back. That's not where I went. That's where I was planning to go because I didn't go until 14. Because that's my bad. Because I had to replace the Dizzy. So I wanted to show everyone how you do a distributor on a CA20. I've done this video many years ago, but I did it so quickly without any voice or anything. I just showed how it was plugged in. Notice that I got 35 hits so far on it, but it was like I wanted to do the talk. I wanted to give a whole lesson on it. It was actually really good. And then did a little bit of talking just before driving to Route 66. Episode 15 was the actual to there and back again. Notice that the graphic is different. Every time I do something different, that's not sitting behind the car, that's me working. This is basically a cartoon of me working on my car. This is like a adventure that I went on. So hopefully what I'll do is, hopefully in the next future, I'm going to do more like this. So it's like if I'm working on the car, it'll be me doing something in the car. Or if I'm doing an adventure. Or if I'm drifting at an actual event, I'll actually have a whole talk about it. So that's the whole thing about that. That's why I kind of changed it up after the faint drift. Because basically it was like a basic one. I wanted to get more artistic to it. So, because me being me, if you want to see something cool, might as well do some extra stuff. So yeah, I talked a lot about that. I talked about the 1320 in Bad Vegas, how it's definitely it explains more of why I was thinking the Southwest is more divisive than it should be. And then I go to the Great South Keeping, which I also go about how basically because I wasn't a part of the whole Fast and the Furious times is the reason why I feel more isolated. Why the few people that I did know, they don't have they had more respect or more, I guess, street cred than anything else. I don't know. I went a lot about on it. It's kind of like a little rant in a way, but and then this one was the fun one is because I found a heart blinker to go on my S12 that actually covers up holes that were drilled in by the previous owner. So it was really cool. This is fun to check out. So there, season series 4 is definitely going to have a different graphic for this. I gotta work on that. But it's definitely going to be working car. It will definitely be one covering for drifting, or if I'm doing an adventure, like depending on where the adventure's going. Like wasn't meant to be like in Arizona, so if I end up going to California to like Apple Valley for the weekend or something, because I decided to go check out what's happening at Apple Valley, maybe they're doing an ultimate drift or something, and I want to go check it out as a spectator. Or maybe if my car's ready, then I can actually go out there. That would be fun. So that's the recap. Pretty much. I talked about a lot of things and I did a lot of work. Think about it. I did a lot of success. If you go through each and every one, even though some things might be minor, it's still something I've done to the car. And I did display everything on the website now of everything that needs to be done versus everything that hasn't been done yet. And everything that has been done. So, and I'll show that right now, actually. Toge Southwest, we go to projects, click on the first link. And here's my list right now. This is Project Zombie Ritual. If anybody wants me to list up the Project Serenity, my daily driving, and list up there as well. I probably will throw down the AB408 as a link, but that is what Netra's using as an excuse to break up these big car meets. So, matter of fact, it's probably gonna keep doing it too. So let's recap. What's next? So, project update this weekend. I'm doing an adventure actually. Keeping it under wraps because I'll explain more as my season opener or series opener. And but other than that, I've gotta work on my daily stuff. I guess one thing of my updates is this one. This is my Z, the 350Z that I have. Discovered yesterday that my drive shaft, this is my rear end, this is my drive shaft. I'm missing bolts. I didn't realize until I went to go get lunch yesterday and my car was vibrating really bad and I'm like, dude, what is going on? So I parked it at my works shop. I'm at my works parking lot and went to look underneath. I went to go check my tires. My tires are fine. What's not fine was I looked at the drive shaft and I seen this bolt missing. And for this to actually act like that, could be either one bolt, it could be two, might actually be 3 out of 4, or it could be all of them and it just hasn't slid off yet. I'm thinking since the bolt is supposed to be one-time use anyways, from what I'm reading as from the FSM, these bolts are super cheap. I'm supposed to go pick them up from dealership. I did not know about this, but it was a one-time use only, and because my clutch is a 6-puck unsprung freaking thing, has been really rough on this whole area, especially when shifting. When I shift it gets really rough because yeah, it's a racing clutch that should not be in there. for daily. My other updates, here's more updates. I've been trying to do software stuff. I've been trying to figure out what's going on. So yesterday's my tow. I had a tow. Me driving the other S12 again. So that's my project. My project's there. I listed that last time. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm trying to get this done. I was being bit up again by the mosquitoes, so I actually took care of them this time. It's supposed to get cold and rainy this weekend, so we might not be able to do much this weekend. Okay, so what's next? Well, depending on what's happening this weekend, I'm going to be doing the Z bolts, and then from there I'll be double checking my S12 because I'll be taking that Sunday morning for my special trip. If I don't take the Z, depending on how wet it is. And then I'm going to replace the USB cable to my ECU. And then I hope I can pull the car out. And hopefully, if I can pull the car out, I can start tuning. And if I can start tuning, that means I'll start driving. And guess what will happen if I start driving? I might just be able to say, go get some quick tires real quick and go tear up the track next month. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm probably just gonna end up going there and doing nothing really other than doing that. So this is definitely coming up. I would love to drive this, but I'm not ready with my car yet. And it'd be so cool if I could, though. I mean, I would show up like fucking right at 8 o'clock. This and tech inspection at 8:30. I still have to buy a freaking helmet if I did that. But you know how badass that would be if I can just do that again. I would love to do that again. I mean, I'm trying the hardest, man. I'm only one person. I have no help. I have no one to run things against. I don't have anyone who can give me a hand while I'm at work for 10 hours a day. It's frustrating. And then I get pulled apart as soon as I get home because I can't. Nobody wants to let me focus on the stuff that I need to do. And then I get tired, and then I get drained. So, anyways, this is my Q&A. If there's anybody in chat that wants to ask any S12 questions or talk about anything drift related, go ahead and bring it up. Other than that, this is it. This is my closing. And this is the end of my Series 3. Next week we'll begin my Series 4. And of course with the Series 4 I'm going to work on the new layout. So anyways, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. And thanks for listening. I do this podcast every Thursday night. So hopefully I'll see you next week. If not, I'll see you when I see you. Anyways, have a good night. Bye.